All
Are
right,
you
we're
working
live
together?
here.
No,
Okay.
we're
So-
competing.
All right.
Yeah. So
Good morning.
yeah. So tell just say your name and what you're here for.
I'm Connie Pillich. I'm a member of American Legion Post 69 in Reading, Ohio. And I'm here at the American Legion Convention. I listened to Hillary Clinton yesterday, and I listened to Donald Trump speak this morning.
So what were your thoughts? Can you compare the two speeches?
Well, I got to tell you, I was hoping to hear from both of them certain things, such as what have they done for veterans in their lives? What do they want to do with the VA healthcare system? What do they want to do with our military? Do they have a plan? If so, what is it? And I heard a lot more from Hillary than I heard from Donald. I was really surprised to learn what Hillary had done previous to running for office. I had no idea that she had worked across the aisle as a senator to create that rehab center. I think she worked with Senator McCain, and they both raised personal money, did personal fundraising for Dad, and she had worked across the aisle to get expanded death benefits for Gold Star families. And I think the other thing that I noted was extending military health care to reservists and members of the Guard. This was when she was in the Senate. I didn't have any idea she'd done that. I didn't hear any of that stuff from Donald Trump, so I don't know what he's done to help veterans. I just really was hoping he would talk about that. They both talked a little bit about the military. Donald Trump said he wants to restore our depleted military, but I wanted to hear more about what that meant. I really liked what Secretary Clinton said about making sure we have a very agile force that's ready to respond on short notice, because we have different needs across the world, and we have to be able to respond to all sorts of different things. I'm of the opinion that the world is an incredibly unstable place, and the United States is probably the only nation on the planet that is interested in human rights as well as our own interests, and is willing to fight for those things across the world. So I was very disappointed when Donald Trump said, we're not going to do any nation building. And so I wonder if he has any grasp at all over what is going on in the world outside of New York City and his Trump headquarters, that he doesn't think the United States needs to be involved in that. So, those are a few things.
What are your thoughts on his trip to Mexico? And I mean, it seemed like he had two different speeches, one in Mexico, one outside of Mexico.
Well, that's what I'm told, not having gone to either one of them. I can't comment too much on them. I'm told that the speech in Mexico was a nice, kind, gentle Donald Trump, but then Mr. Brannan showed up in Arizona. So that's... Anyway, I was really surprised that Mr. Trump talked about his visit to Mexico while he was here at the American Legion. I don't know what that has to do with the American Legion. Mexico is our neighbor in North America, and we have trade deals with them, and we have a lot of cooperative treaties with them. So I don't know why he was talking about that when he should have been talking about the VA system and our national defense.
It felt like the crowd here was more supportive of the things Trump was saying compared to what Secretary Clinton was saying yesterday. What do you make of that?
Well, I was really surprised, and I was really surprised. It could be that maybe there are more Republicans and they're voting the party line. I can tell you that the Legion was extremely respectful to Mrs. Clinton, and everybody stood up when she came in, as we did this morning when Mr. Trump came in. I can tell you that there were applause lines, applause from different parts of the room yesterday for Mrs. Clinton. But I was really surprised at the support, especially when he talked about illegal immigration and things of that nature. I was surprised, so I don't know what's going on there.
As a veteran, what do you make of the whole email situation with Clinton? Her handling of classified information. It's something you hear, from Trump supporters all the time. I mean, you were in the military. You know how that works.
And I had a top secret security clearance. You're going to hear all this stuff from the Trump supporters, obviously. I mean, this is a political season, and poor Hillary Clinton's been the target for 30-some years of harassment and bias and spin, whether it's based in fact or not. From what I have read, and I try to do my own research when I think about these things. From what I have read, that Hillary Clinton is not the first Secretary of State to use a private server. Condoleezza Rice did before her, as did Colin Powell. That the FBI director said that this is probably better sources on the news sources, but what I saw and what I recall him saying was that the information that came to her was not labeled classified, and some of it was classified at a later date. And as someone who dealt with classified materials on a daily basis when I was in North Dakota and serving in the Air Force, it has to be classified for you to know that it's classified. You can't just have some new communication and just decide that day that it's classified, or for it to be classified at a later date. Timing is important. So for me, while I wish that she hadn't used the private server, I can't say it was an unprecedented activity to do that. And I wish that, I'm glad that she apologized for it, and I'm glad that all the reports are coming out and all these emails are being released to show what sort of benign things in those 30 or 40,000 emails that have been released, what sort of benign things they contain. I think what we really need to get back to is, especially here with the American Legion in town, is who's going to be the best advocate for our military, who's going to be the best leader for our military, who's actually thinking about the forward need of the military in the world. I love this wind, don't you? Who's thinking about where we're going to need our resources? Where are we going to need them in the desert? Are we going to need them in the mountains? We're going to need them in South America. We're going to need them in the northern hemisphere. Hillary Clinton's the only one I've seen that has talked about that. And I'm for someone like Donald Trump to, out of one hand, insult veterans, then the next day saying he's going to be the biggest supporter of veterans. I think that's sort of disingenuous.
What about what